Welcome to our introductory tutorial videos on the MS2760A Ultraportable Spectrum Analyzer from Anritsu. In this section, we want to focus in on the marker functions and the peak search function capability of the MS2760A. We have set up here the FM radio band to help illustrate the functions of marker and peak search. The first time I click on the marker button, it will turn on a marker at the center frequency, and the value of that marker is displayed in the upper left hand corner, or if I turn on the marker table, I can see the value here. Working my way down the marker menu, we can see that we can have up to 12 markers. I can see its current frequency and amplitude. I can change the marker to a delta marker, a fixed marker, or turn it off. Changing it to a fixed marker to a delta marker turns on marker 2 at the same location, and an X marks that it is a fixed marker. And I can assign a marker to any of the traces, mark 1 through 6. And we could also turn on a marker setup table to quickly turn on more markers. I'm going to close the marker setup table, and I'm going to select marker 3, marker 4, and you can see that they're all on, coming on at the center frequency at 98 megahertz. By clicking on the marker command, by drag anywhere vertically or above or below the marker, I can also grab the marker and select it, and I can click through until I pick the marker I want. And once I've selected a marker, I can drag it anywhere I would like. Fixed marker, of course, goes anywhere in amplitude. And let's say marker 4 over here, I want to put it on a specific location. I can also dial in the exact frequency that I want. Moving over to the peak search function, I'm going to turn on a new marker, marker 5, and it puts it at the peak. Hitting next peak will move it to the next highest peak on the screen. Next peak left, next peak right, next point left moves it one display point to the left or to the right. Your right arrow key on your keypad will do the same thing. This allows you to fine-tune it to get the marker exactly where you want it on the screen. If I look at the peak setup, I can define what I want as a peak. Here, peak excursions turned on at 10 dB. So if I keep going next peak, it can't go any lower now because the lower peaks are not at least 10 dB high. If I turn on the peak threshold and start out at peak search again, next peak, it won't go below any peaks below minus 65 dB. So you can now have control of how to define the peaks. One last thing to illustrate, going back to markers, is the ability to assign a marker to a separate trace. So turn on trace 2, or assign it to trace 2, turn on trace 2. I have it hidden right now. I'm sorry, trace 2. And there we see that the trace is on, the marker is on trace 2. And looking at the marker table, it tells us where that marker is assigned. All markers can be turned off at one time and be back to the beginning. So that's it on markers in peak search for the MS2760A Ultraportable Spectrum Analyzer from Anritsu. Thanks again for your time and attention.